Wicked Update with Billy Dendinger.
Good evening, I'm Billy Dendinger, and here are tonight's top stories. In 1513, Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince. It was published in 1532, 5 years after his death. In it, he urged rulers to use whatever methods were necessary to achieve their goals, and he became known as the first real politician. A recent study shows that by 1500, according to some estimates, there were about 15 to 20 million books that had been produced on the printing press. By 2020, it is estimated that practically nobody will even use books. In 1517, Martin Luther became outraged by Johann Tetzel's selling of indulgences and other problems of the Catholic Church. He posted his famous 95 Thesis on the doors of Wittenberg's All Saints Church, which started the Protestant Reformation, which brings us to our next segment, History of the Protestant Reformation. 1517, Martin Luther posted his 95 Thesis. Copies were printed and distributed across Europe and stirred furious debate. The church called on Luther to recant his views. He said no. He made more radical new doctrines. 1521, Pope Leo X excommunicated Luther. That year, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V held a diet at Worms. Charles told Luther to give up his views. Again, Luther said no. He was declared an outlaw, but still had many to take care of him. 1524, a peasants' revolt erupted in Germany because they wanted to gain Luther's support for social and economic change. He announced a rebellion, and nobles suppressed it. By 1530, Lutherans were using the name Protestant for those who protested papal authority. In 1536, John Calvin published a book that explained his beliefs and told how to organize and run a Protestant church. That led to Calvinism. A whole other story. Reports from England in 1527 show that Henry VIII tried to get an annulment from his wife Catherine of Aragon, but the Pope refused to annul their marriage. This led Henry to break away from the Catholic Church and make England a Protestant nation. He set up the Anglican Church, and in 1534, Parliament passed the Act of Supremacy. Here a comment on this is King Henry VIII.
Well, good day, Sir William.
It's an honor to have you here, King Henry VIII. So, King Henry, what exactly did the Act of Supremacy do once Parliament passed it?
Well, it made me the only supreme head on the Church of England.
Oh.
Oh? Why do you say oh? Do you doubt my supremacy?
No. It's not that I doubt it. It just sounds that you kind of gave yourself that title by using Parliament.
Of course I did. I'm the bloody King of England. I can have whatever I please.
On that topic, let's talk about how many wives you had and why you got rid of them. So history says that you had 6 wives, is that correct?
You've certainly done your research. I've had me 6 wives. Not one of them was worth my time.
Can you even name all 6 of your wives?
Right, well then there's,
Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr.
Bah, they weren't important.
Obviously, you divorced 2 of your wives, executed 2, 1 died, and then you left 1 a widow.
I'll have you executed. I'm the bloody King of England. Don't you forget that, you peasant.
King Henry VIII, everybody. In 1519, Hernan Cortez landed on the coast of New Mexico with about 600 men, 16 horses, and a few cannons. And in 1521, he and his Indian allies demolished Tenochtitlan and conquered the Aztecs. This brings us to our next segment, Really? With Billy. Really, Cortez? You had cannons and horses and bear weapons while the Aztecs had stick weapons? And it still took you 3 years to defeat them? Really? You had the support of Spain and it still took you 3 years to defeat them. That's about as long as both of the world wars took. Really? You had the support of Spain? Really? I mean really. Smallpox spread among the Aztecs from the 1519 encounter with them and helped decimate their population, even though you and your allies slaughtered thousands of the Aztecs. Really? Really, Cortez? I mean, just really. That was Really with Billy. Earlier in 1510, the Portuguese, under Alfonso de Albuquerque's command, captured the island of Gao made it their major military and economic base. Then in 1511, the Portuguese captured the port of Malacca and massacred the city's Muslims. We have no joke for this. Finally, on September 8, 1522, almost 3 years after the start of Magellan's voyage to circumnavigate the world, the survivors of the voyage, only 18 sailors and on one ship, returned to Spain. For Weekend Update, I'm Billy Dendinger.